Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we want to talk about some silly stuff that Rich Paul said recently. Man, I tried to get to this episode like 3 days ago, and just work picked up, and all the other stuff that keep you busy picked up. So I didn't get to it, but um, got to get to it today for sure. I'm not even go recap that game with the T Wolves and the Spurs. It was just pretty bad. You come out and get beat by 30 in the closeout game. That's pretty bad. But we'll discuss that tomorrow. But for now, we got to get into this Rich Paul stuff, man. It's just unbelievable some of the things that this guy say. It's nothing that he won't say to support LeBron, and it don't even matter if it don't make sense. Like half the stuff he be saying don't make sense, man, and he tries to make it sound intelligent and all that stuff, man. I find it fascinating. But we're gonna get into it, man. We got a couple other topics we want to get into as well. Steve Kerr just got rehired, re-signed for 2 more years with Golden State Warriors. I think that's a mistake. I'll tell you why. Then some things that SGA had said about him by some Lakers. Robert Ory and James Worthy in the post game after they closed out their series with the Lakers in 4. It was very, some things that they said I wanted to point out, but I got to get to this Rich Paul stuff. Shout out to all the members. We got a member on the episode that's dropping tomorrow for y'all. Y'all will see that, and y'all see that first, before it actually goes public. So y'all get it a couple of days early. So shout out to the members. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, man. Thank you for everything you do and all the support and all that stuff, man. So, yeah, this episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code Man Down Sports and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Plus, now that it's football season, you can follow Man Down Sports as we reveal our favorite picks from week to week. Like I said before, pick your favorite player, pick higher or lower, choose your dollar amount, and win some money. It's just that easy. Make picks, win money. We also want to thank Underdog Fantasy for partnering with us, and we want to thank you for helping the channel out by using Man Down Sports on Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to Know Your Boy Spokes. I see you in the comment section. Frankie Fernandez, shout out to you. Rich Dog, shout out to you, man. Thank y'all for being here. It look like some new people in here. Hot Spot Casino, The Geek Show. I seen you in here before. Shout out to you, Big Dog. Mysterious Black Dude. You look familiar, so I think you've been in here. Conrad Strong, you sound like you might be new. But if you're new to the channel, man, appreciate y'all for being here, man. Thank you. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button, leave comments, whatever you want to do. Super chats will be read. I read every super chat and respond to them. Hit the share button as well. Let's get some people in here, man, and let's participate. And I open the phone lines up as well, so stay tuned for that. But Rich Paul, right? Man, what can we say about Rich Paul that hasn't already been said about Elmer Fudd? Like this, like I just can't be surprised by the stuff he says anymore. So you probably heard it. You probably seen the clip. But this man, in order to push the GOAT narrative for LeBron James, has now gone as far as saying that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, having 2 parents and coming from a 2-parent household, made them selfish basketball players. Because I guess in his mind, and he kept saying the psychology of it. I'm like, dude, did you really, like, is there a case study on this? This supported by some real data and some real science. There's peer reviewed and all that stuff. Like, does anything exist that says that 2-parent households make selfish kids? And then where's the connection to a selfish kid to NBA basketball? And then where's the connection with a selfish kid being selfish in NBA basketball also equaling something negative? Like, cause he got three things he got to connect. He got to connect with the selfish, with the two-parent household got to do it being a selfish kid, selfish adult, and what that has to do with being a selfish basketball player in the NBA, and then how is that a negative? You know, selfish sounds like a bad word, but how is that a negative? Like if by me being selfish, my team wins more games and more championships, what are we complaining about? So he was trying to make the case that, you know, we got to give LeBron more credit for not being selfish. All right. So listen to this.
Make it a little bit deeper. I have something for this. It's a lot deeper. When you say he didn't have it, right? When you look at Michael grew up with a mom and a dad in his household. When you look at Kobe grew up with a mom and dad in his household. When you look at LeBron's mom was 16 when she had him as a child. Now, he spent a lot of time by himself, right? He did not develop. Taking the last shot over three people is a selfish gene.
All right, let's stop there. Right. First and foremost, he's talking about Kobe and Mike. He said he came from a two-parent household. LeBron came from a single-parent household with his mom. She had him at 16. You're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. What the heck does this got to do with basketball and the GOAT debate? Like, what does he got to do? And then he goes to say, taking a shot over taking the last second shot over three people is selfish. Now, first and foremost, now the reason why I stopped there is because I'm trying to think when I've seen Kobe or Mike take a last second shot over three people. Right, I'm trying to think of that, but I do remember against Phoenix where they had like a little comeback win in the playoffs, and Kobe had got I think they had a jump ball. And there was not a lot of time left on the clock. You know, they had to do a jump ball, and the ball got tipped to Kobe, and it was only like 8 seconds left, and he had to go, and he dribbled from half court from the left, crossed to the right, and by the time he got to the free throw line and pulled up, three people was like in his vicinity. But really, he only shot over one guy. Three people came to the ball when he was in his motion, but there was nothing else he could have done. Like three people was trying to stop him, and there was no pass to make because there wasn't enough time on the clock. And he was the first one really up the court, you know, after he got the jump ball. I don't know if y'all remember that play, but I remember that. I do remember a couple of times, I think against Portland, he hit a wild 3-pointer from the top of the key, and there was like two people on him. Yeah, so I mean, yeah. You might have some clips of Kobe taking a shot over 2 or 3 people. And he's saying that selfish. Let's not argue that. Let's say that is selfish. My question would be, so what? Like, so what's wrong with that? Like being selfish outside of sports or basketball is definitely a negative thing. That's not a trait you want in your life outside of sports, outside of basketball. But being selfish on the court, it actually works for your benefit and for your team benefits a lot. If you only selfish in a situation like the game winning shot. Like I'm not selfish like all game, but for the last second shot, I'm absolutely selfish. I'm selfish because I've seen all my teammates all season, sometimes multiple seasons I've been with you, and you've seen me, and no one had, and I'm speaking of Kobe and Jordan, everyone can attest, no one worked harder than Mike and Kobe on their body, on their game, on film. Like they're the two superstars. They're the two guys that got the gold dust, like Jerry West said. There's a lot of gold dust sprinkled on Kobe Bryant. He seen that when he was a 17-year-old kid. That boy got a lot of gold dust sprinkled on him. Not everyone is built like that. Not everyone is Achilles that was dipped in gold, you know what I mean, except for his ankle, you know what I mean, his Achilles. Like, it's some people that are just special, that have that it factor, that's why they are superstars. That's why they are supermen, right? So superstars don't delegate the last second shot to someone that's supposed to be lesser than them because they're not built for that moment. They haven't worked hard for that moment. Like I have. I lose sleep thinking about this moment. I'm so afraid of failing in that moment that I work tirelessly for that moment. Right? So that's not selfish if I've put in the most work for this moment. And I think it's selfish for someone else to want that moment, knowing that they didn't put the amount of work in that Kobe or Mike put in. Like it would be selfish for Scottie Pippen to be like, man, nah, give me the shot when he knows Mike is outworking everybody and he's built for that moment. That's why Scottie Pippen got so pissed off at Phil Jackson when Scottie felt like, okay, now Jordan is going to go play baseball. This is my team. And he put the team on his shoulders and he was ready for moments like that. And they had a game-winning play drawed up for Tony Kukoc at the timeout against the Knicks in the playoff game. And Scottie Pippen was like, man, what do you mean Tony Kukoc taking this shot? This me. This is my moment. Right? And rightfully so. Tony did hit the shot, though, but and Scottie Pippen didn't even come out of the timeout to even join the team, which was a bad look. But the point is, I don't have a problem with somebody being selfish when it's righteous.
That don't make you having killer instinct. That's a selfish behavior. That's a gene.
That's it. So we're not knocking none of that. Hold on, listen, hear my. But a killer instinct. Hear my.
Listen to me. It ain't got nothing to do with killer. Because the killers is in the joint. And some of them are walking out here. This ain't no killer shit on a basketball court. I've been around them all. What I'm trying to explain to you is psychologically.
Now he's getting into psychology. Wow.
When you spend the time that you spent by yourself, quite naturally, you want to do what? You want to befriend people, and you built the game off of making other guys look good. LeBron.
Okay. There's no correlation with what he's saying. So he's trying to make a connection between LeBron being a single, or being brought up in a single parent home. He's trying to make the connection that that made him want friends. Like he want to friend people, right? Okay, I got it. He wants to friend people because he grew up with no siblings. Got it. How are you making that connection to basketball and last second shots?
I sees the pass and you scoring just as much as he sees himself scoring, which is why he's the only athlete to have other self-made millionaires in his circle and not look down upon it.
They had, like, you mixing so much stuff. You mixing childhood psychology with basketball and last second shots. Now you mixing it back to the outside world, talking about millionaires. Like those things, those dots don't connect. You was raised by just a mom with no dad, no siblings. That made you unselfish and made you want friends, which also means that you don't mind giving someone else the last shot. That is an excuse to pass the buck. No, that's not. You can't cover up. I don't want the last shot. Give it to Kyrie with saying I want to see other people succeed. That don't even make sense. I want to see the team win. So I'm going to do the best thing. I'm going to tell you how dumb it is. What he's trying to say, right? Like I was saying about 2 minutes ago. LeBron, Kobe, Michael, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Duncan, guys like that, especially the wing players, because we know big men can't really, not can't, but didn't really create like that. The creation is really coming from the wing players, right? So I'm gonna keep it with the wing players. Kobe, Mike, LeBron, Bird, Magic, those guys, they are special basketball players. And that's what we call a superstar. And if I kind of equate that to anything outside of sports, I really like to go to superheroes, because that might help it make sense for some people. If a superstar in basketball is equivalent to a superhero in the real world, then anything under that would just be a regular player, like a superstar and a regular player, a superhero and a regular hero or a regular man. We look at people like MLK, we look at firefighters, we look at some teachers, we look at mentors, we look at people like that, policemen. We look at them as heroes, especially when they do heroic things. But they aren't superheroes because they don't have superpowers. Superman is a superhero. In basketball, we have good play. We have star players. A star player could be Latrell Sprewell or Allen Houston, but a superstar is a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. Superstars and stars are as to superheroes and heroes. All right, now that I laid that foundation, can you imagine some catastrophic thing happen in the neighborhood? Here comes Superman, who's the superhero. And here go the regular heroes. There's a police officer taping off the area. There's a firefighter who might be directing traffic, make sure that nobody go over near the disaster and all that stuff. Let's say it's a meteor that fell and it's a big old crater in the freaking ground and a fire and all that stuff, right? Would you expect Superman to come down and be like, okay, I see y'all taping off the area. I see you over there directing traffic, make sure nobody go over there. I see y'all picking up some rubble. Do you expect Superman to be like, all right, y'all got that small stuff. I'm Superman. I'm the superhero. I pick this meteor up with my bare hands and take it somewhere and throw it in the ocean, right? That's what you expect Superman to do, the stuff that only a Superman can do. What Rich Paul is saying is, I want Superman to be unselfish and get other people involved so they can get some shine. So in this scenario, Superman would look at the firefighters and the police officer, the neighborhood watch, and some of the other people and say, hey, y'all come help me pick this meter up. As a matter of fact, y'all pick it up by y'allself. I go up and pick the rubble up. I do crowd control, right? It doesn't look good when the Superman is going to go do regular man stuff and ask the regular man to go do the Superman stuff. So when LeBron James gets in a huddle for a game-winning shot, it's time. That's when Superman's supposed to step up. That's when a superstar is supposed to step up. What LeBron James did is say, nah. I know I'm the superstar, but draw this play up for Kyrie, right? Scottie Pippen did something different. He said, no, I want the play. Why are you giving it to cool coach? I don't care what you think he is. I want to be able to fail or succeed in this situation. That's why he was so mad. Don't bypass me. I'm the superstar. I'm the one who's the all-star who's in the MVP race. How are you going to bypass me? You wouldn't do Jordan like that and give me the game-winning shot. So why are you going to do me like that and give it to cool coach? That's why he was so pissed off at Phil Jackson. He wanted that moment. LeBron didn't want the moment. Give it to Kyrie. So I'm asking, who was the Superman on the Cavs? Was it LeBron or was it Kyrie? I don't know. Or was it Superman giving a regular, or were they both Superman? I mean, you got to ask yourself that. Was it two Supermen on the squad? I would say so. But one of the Supermans didn't want the moment. He gave it to somebody else. That's the difference. That's what Rich Paul is saying. He's saying that because LeBron is so unselfish and he would pass the buck to a teammate for the moment that was only built for Superman or a superhero or a superstar to flourish in, he's passing the buck. Not because the defense forced him to pass it. He passed it before the defense even stepped on the court. That was during a timeout. He said, give it to Kyrie.
Because he don't have that selfish gene. Whereas
say your words.
Whereas when I got all the toys in the toy chest and I got the optionality of what toys I want to play with, and if you don't do it how I do it, I take my ball and go home. When you put that on the basketball court, then that creates another gene which we call killer instinct, which is fine. I got no problem with it. But you got to look deeper into the psychology of it all. Michael Jordan is my man through and through, so I'm not knocking Michael Jordan. But what I'm saying is LeBron grew up making guys better. So quite naturally, he's going to always make the proper basketball play. Michael grew up playing against his brother every day. I couldn't beat my older brother Larry, and so when I finally beat him, that created, no matter what, I'm taking this shot, right? So it's not a knock to none of them, but when you talk about a basketball player, there's never been a basketball player born on anywhere on this God Green's earth that is better than LeBron James at playing basketball. Now, if you want to talk about taking the 36 elements of basketball and stripping it down to one, which is scoring, give me Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so give me Michael Jordan for all of it. The answer to the question of who the better basketball player is Michael Jordan. Out of the three, Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron's third. Right? It just is what it is. They're superior players than he is. They are. Right? So you can try to word salad and throw all this stuff out here and these horrible examples and analogies you giving. It's really bad. Give me Jordan. Give me Kobe. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So and somebody just made a comment and said it's not selfish, it's accountability. That's exactly what it is. If I'm in charge, if I'm the superstar, if this is my team, I'm gonna go down with the ship. Michael Jordan said, I would rather put it on my shoulders whether I make that shot or miss it, so I can have it on my mind. I can have it that I felt the team if I miss it. I felt the team if I miss it. And I can handle that and come back, and it's gonna be more fuel for my fire. It's gonna make me practice more. It's gonna make me want that moment again and again and again, whether I make or miss. Especially if I miss, it's gonna make me want that moment. But sometimes you got a co-star on your team that if they miss that shot, you might not get them back mentally at all. When Ben Simmons let his team down in the playoffs, he hasn't been the same since. Some people ain't built for all of that. Some people not built for that. He's been shying away from it for ever since, and won't even take a jump shot or a 3-point shoot. I mean, he just in his own head. You know, I mean, Scottie Pippen gave some of those traits off early on, but you know, he got mentally tough as well. It took a while, but he got mentally tough. You know, so kudos to him for doing that. But right at the beginning, I don't think he had that type of mental toughness, man. Thank God he was playing beside the GOAT. He got it eventually. So yeah, but Michael Jordan was like, I don't even want that on Pippen. I don't want that on no other players. I put it on myself. I'll put it on ourselves, and if we miss it, I'm good with it. When Kobe Bryant airballed those 3-pointers against the Jazz, he took each and every last one of them and he airballed one and then airballed the second one and airballed the third one. Each time he was like, I'm going down with the ship. You know, if it's gonna be a make or miss situation for me. And Shaquille O'Neal said after the game, he told Kobe, "Nah, don't worry about it. You're gonna be good because ain't none of us want the ball." Shaq always admitted that he didn't want the ball late because he didn't want to get to the free throw line and miss key free throws. And then when they had the other guys on the team, Rick Fox, Eddie Jones, Nick Van Elsen, he said none of them dudes wanted that moment. They didn't want that shot. Kobe did. As a young buck, was he a second-year player that year? It might have been second year. No. That was his rookie season. Playing meaningful minutes in the second round of the playoffs against Utah Jazz, who end up going to the finals that year. Here's his rookie in the game, in the playoffs, getting meaningful minutes in the clutch, and the only one who wanted the moment at that moment. If these dudes, the vets that was on that team, really wanted them last second shots, there's no way Kobe would have even got. There's no way a 17. Well, he was 18 at the time. There's no way an 18-year-old rookie would have got a chance to take 3-pointers in the clutch if Shaq, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Rick Fox, whoever's on that squad that was a veteran, if they had any type of cojones, he don't get if he airballed that first one, he don't get a second one. There's no way he get a second one. You got to ask yourself, why was Kobe taking them shots consecutively and nobody else? It's a daggone good question, right? So give me Kobe, give me Mike. And back to making the right play, we got to stop saying that there's no such thing as the right play. That's the play that work and the play that don't work. Because if I take a shot over a contested defender and miss it, it's easy in hindsight to say that was the wrong play. But if I make it, nobody in their right mind is going to say, oh, that was the wrong play. Nah. you make a play. And if it work, it worked. There's no such thing as a right play. What do you mean a right play? You mean you can say mathematically this is the right play because the percentages is high, yeah. But under normal circumstances, you got percentages, and then you got percentages that's not under normal circumstances, right? So, if I'm Michael Jordan and I got ice in my ice in my veins, and I love the clutch, I could be 5 for 30 in the game. Man, it's a bad shooting night for Michael Jordan. I bet you won't leave him open for the game winner. You still got to guard him. He can be having a bad shooting night. You still got to guard him for the game winner, because whatever his percentages is for that game, with 5 or 30 shooting or 5 or 20 shooting, you can throw that out of the window, because it's a whole different set of rules for a guy that wants the moment the way Michael Jordan wants the moment in the clutch. I'm super focused. I'm hyper focused. I ain't missing nothing. I'm laser focused on one thing, and that's winning. And those guys usually rise to the top and make plays, right? So the right play and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that, right? Because what Rich Paul is saying about LeBron James is him being unselfish is better than being selfish when it comes to the terms of basketball, which also makes him the better player. That's what he's saying. And my question to you is, if you're gonna place him above people because he's unselfish in the big moments and he's willing to pass in the big moments, why not cut out the middleman? Like if I have a Anthony Davis on my team, or Luka on my team, or Kyrie Irving on my team, or D Wade on my team, and these guys want the last shot, like they were built, like especially Wade, Luka, and Kyrie, built for that. Anthony Davis hit some crucial game winners in the bubble when they won that championship. He hit a game winner as well. Like, there's a lot of dudes on his squad that want that shot. They got a mentality like Jordan and Kobe had. They got that mentality. So when you got a player like LeBron who is unselfish and want to pass the buck, you need a guy like Jordan or Kobe's mentality on his team. Jordan don't need another Jordan mentality on his team because he has it. You see how that work? The way LeBron James plays the game and the way he thinks the game, like Rich Paul is saying, he needs someone who thinks it like Jordan and Kobe. But Jordan and Kobe is Jordan and Kobe, so they don't need another person that thinks, because I'm going to take the last shot. I'm going to do that, right? So why not cut out the middleman? If Kyrie Irving is the guy who wants the last shot in that moment, why even give the ball to LeBron to make the pass, which is what they did against the Warriors. They came out of the timeout. They didn't get the ball to LeBron and then say, Kyrie, go get in the corner, and then LeBron's going to drive and make the pass. Like, they don't even make sense. Like, when it's a last-second shot, you're not drawing up a game-winning assist. For the most part, if you got one of those guys, if you got a Kobe or Mike mentality with the skill set as well, you just give him the ball and get out of the way, which is what they did. They gave the ball to Kyrie, and he said, may I have this dance? I don't need no screen. I got Steph on me. May I have this dance? And he took the game-winning shot. That's what you do when you got one of those players. But Rich Paul is trying to say, LeBron gonna make the right play. Well, on my team, if I got a Kobe or Michael or Kyrie on my team, LeBron ain't making no play, because I'm giving them the ball and I'm telling LeBron to go get in the corner. Why do I want to get a ball to a guy who want to make a pass? I need a shot, not a pass. I need a shot. What are we talking about? I don't need a pass. I don't need a game-winning pass. Hey, here's the clipboard. I'm about to drop this game-winning assist. No, that's not what they do. I'm gonna draw up a play to get you open so you can get the ball, and then we getting out of your way. A game-winning shot is what I need, not a game-winning assist. I got Jordan on my team, and I'm about to put the ball in John Stockton's hand for the last second. Why? if LeBron want to be John Stockton so bad because he came from a single parent, which is what Rich is saying, don't make no sense to me. But I mean that's one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my life, man. Last thing, it's ironic that he's frowning upon what makes Mike and what makes Kobe, saying that they're selfish and all that stuff, and saying that being a passive player and a player that's not selfish and wants to pass the buck to his teammates. It's funny that he act like that is the superior mindset to have when LeBron James went from here to here in everybody's mind in the playoffs against Detroit when he scored like 20 straight points and nobody could stop him. That's when he went Mike and Kobe mentality. So what really made LeBron James really like that in everybody's eyes is when he played more like Mike and Kobe, when he was an unstoppable scoring force that they had no answer for. So if it wasn't for moments like that when he was selfish and said, I'm putting a team on my back, if it wasn't for moments like that, then we wouldn't even be looking at LeBron James in a top 10 conversation. We would have him somewhere near what Paul Pierce said. But the fact that he could go on those scoring rants like that and all of those moments, like his 15 and 20 assist moments, nobody looked at them and was like, oh my God, that is great. But when he scored 40 and 50, when he was selfish, and when he did that, when he showed killer instinct, that's what made LeBron James so high in everybody's eyes. Not the passing. It was the scoring. So the same mentality that Rich Paul is frowning upon is what really got LeBron most of his notoriety. We want to see more of that. And if he was so unselfish, then why does he have to have every major role on offense? Why does he have to be the primary ball handler, the primary distributor, the post player, the screen and roll ball handler, the primary scorer, and all of that? So why does he got to do all that? Why not just let a point guard be a point guard? Like let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let me get to these super chats and then open this phone line up. $10 super chat, William Kane. What's up, brother? What's good, Mel? If you could put Mike or Kobe on LeBron team, who's the Superman? All three of them are Superman. You got three Supermen. You got a team of Avengers at that point. Or DC. I don't know what Superman is. I don't know nothing about the X-Men and all that stuff. But yeah, you got three Supermen. I'm look, just because I critique LeBron and call out his nonsense, I'm not go deny that he's a superstar. Yeah, so he's definitely a Superman. But he played with a lot of Supermen. He played with Wade and Bosh. He played with Kyrie, and I wouldn't consider Kevin Love a Superman. But he was Batman for a little while. He ain't had no superpowers, but he can make you think he had superpowers when he was in Minnesota, which is funny, man, because what Kevin Love was, he was Jokic before Jokic was. And, he was the guy that was getting 20 and 20. He was, 20 rebounds, 20 points. He was hitting threes, great post player. And his passing was phenomenal. But, he never got a chance to, run a team as long as Jokic did, enough to get him competitive and really get his name out there. He went to Cleveland and all of a sudden turned into a daggone catch and shoot 3-point shooter. No more posts, no more down low. He lost weight, everything. He was a small forward now. I was like, man, that's crazy. Which lets me know that if he can change his body from where he was, because he had the same build that Jokic had in Minnesota. He got to Cleveland, and then he turned into, he had a body like freaking Kyle Korver. Like, for him to get his weight down and get skinny, lets me know that Jokic can do it too. And Luka. $5 super chat. What is that? Forging the fire. There ain't one aspect of the game that LeBron is better than Jordan at, not one. If I was to pick one, it probably would be passing. Michael Jordan is a really good passer, really great passer, but in people's eyes, that you got to see it enough to believe it, I guess. Not everybody can observe and scout a player with a small sample size and then make a judgment call on what they're seeing. Not everybody know the game. So there's a lot of people who really just think Michael Jordan and Kobe can't pass. There's a lot of people that really think that. So they got to be more loud with it, like LeBron. Like, if they ran point, then maybe you would see more of their passing. But they decided to say, you know what? I'll let the triangle offense distribute for us. You know what I mean? The triangle offense, the way it's ran, we go get assists. The only assists that matter in the game is team assists. Your best player or your point guard or whatever the case may be, their assist does not. Now, one single player assist matters when it comes to trying to win, but how many assists your team gets is what matter. So if I can implement the triangle offense and have my superstar off the ball, and my superstar without the ball in his hand can still give me 30, and then since he don't have the ball in his hand too much, but he can still give me 30, that means that now I can have a guy like Scotty, Ron Harper, or Tony Kukoc sometimes handle the ball, which means my superstar don't have that stress. Like, did you see how stressful it was for Jamal Murray getting picked up 94 feet by McDaniels in the first round of the playoffs? Picked him up 94 feet the entire series. By the time he get to half court, he already exhausted. He got to run the offense, right? That's tiresome, right? So if I can take the guy that I'm relying on for points, if I can take that burden of him of being a ball handler and trying to bring it up against all that pressure and turning the ball over 4 or 5 times a game, taking him off the ball, let the offense run, I let someone do this role as a point forward or a point guard or whatever the case may be. Now I got 2 guys starring in 2 separate roles. But what they're doing now is they're giving their best player and their best scorer the role of ball handler. So now one player has 2 roles, which means that my co-star don't have a role primarily. He can do those same 2 roles that my superstar is doing when my superstar sit down or when my superstar says, okay, it's your turn. But that's not a good formula. So if I could take my superstar off the ball and he can still give me 30 without having the ball as much, and then my co-star can run the offense and make sure everyone is eating, and my offense produces 30 assists a game, why do I care if my best player is getting 10 assists? See, what Denver and what teams that Luka Doncic is on is doing is saying, we're prioritizing our star players' assists. We want to make sure he gets assists. They're not even worried about the assist total for the team. So if my best player gets me 10 assists, but we run an offense to where only my best player can really get assists because no one else is designed in the distribution. The distribution is designed for one player to get assists. Now everybody else will get assists. I might get a fast break and run on a fast break, and I might get an assist or 2 like that way, just off script. So other players get assists off script, but the offense is designed for this one player to get 10 assists and 30 points. They're designing the offense around the numbers of their best player. The analytics is saying when he get these numbers, this is how often we win. So that's what they're going to. All right. So what do we got to do to continue to make sure that he gets these shots and get these numbers? This is the best shot that analytically it says they break analytics down like this. Analytically, every Jokic post play produce 1.8 points per possession. And they were like, oh my God, so let's just post them up more. That's how they play. Or they be like, okay, when Luka gets 10, when Luka gets 10 plus assists, we win the game 55% of the time. Okay, well, let's design an offense for Luka to get 10 assists. That's what they're doing. And it's retarded. It's retarded. It's a reason why Jokic got 1 ring and Luka has 0. It's a reason why Luka can't Luka and Jokic can't get back to the finals. You know what I mean? So yeah. The right play is just I gotta pass because I'm a brick. Yeah, the right play might be to get the ball out of his hands, man. All right. Let's open the phone lines up, y'all. Open the phone lines up. Let's see what's in the comments too. It says Jordan fans care about one stack 6-0. Sure. All right, let me see if I can. All right, caller from Texas. What's up?
What's up, brother, man?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
Hey, pressure makes diamonds and bursts pipes. All right.
I hear
and
you.
This is what all these jokers. It's like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like having a fight with a female. Listen to these broad fans. I'm serious. You can tell they were raised by a woman. I mean, I'm just being, look, no accountability. Yeah. What about this? What about this? What about, okay, hold on. Which one of them lost a playoff series when they had home court advantage, and which one didn't?
Yes.
And when you also talk about the clutch and all this other stuff, which one, when it came to getting fouled, still drove to the lane at the end of the game and went to the line and did his work at the line, and which one doesn't?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can keep playing this. We can play these little semantics all you want to. The proof is in the pudding. Assists is not on the scoreboard.
No.
There, like you said, ain't no end of game assist play. We ain't getting no extra credit for that. Your mom might put your single mom might put a gold star on the refrigerator for you. Well, you did really good, baby. But guess what? You still going to Cancun. So need to start. The men play the game. The game is you win by having more points than the other team.
Preach.
That's either your offense is better or your defense is better. Whichever way you want to do it, you pick your route and you make that happen. In the case of Jordan, it happened to be both of them.
Yep, had to be both of them.
Exactly. So if you want to sit here and keep playing all these, the semantics and all this other excuse making, the bottom, and I'll say this has always been where I stood when it came to LaFleur. If he made all his teammates better, number one, why'd he get rid of so many of them? Why did he jettison all the youth that he had in LA when he got there?
Yeah.
And being that he's picking his superstar teams, how is it you got as many losses in the finals as a dude who you try to be compared with has wins? If you can just explain that without playing this MAGA, I'm in a cult crap, whataboutism, I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
But until you can do that,
so
like straight up.
So you're not buying the single mom and the selfish.
Man, listen. No, that's the exact opposite. Because here that's the exact opposite of what I've observed with my 57 trips around the sun.
Right.
That is not how this stuff works. Okay, I give just straight up. Growing up, I had a little sister. She was the bane of my life. All right, she could straight up punch me in front of my father. If I flinched like I was going to go back at her, all I heard was, boy. Now, why do I say that to say this? I had to learn the importance of not hitting a woman. I didn't learn that from my mother, because if it had been from my mom, in her own words, she would have let me go upside her head. But my father said no, because you're going to be a man and you're going to be a black man. And you can't be having that. You can't be doing that kind of stuff later on in life.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from?
Right.
So my father, who was raised by his father, who was raised by his father, and my mother, who was raised by her mother and father, who were raised by their mother and father, they knew what it looked like having a family and what that meant. It wasn't always, oh well, everything's nice and easy. Nah.
All right, you got.
Things ain't nice
All right,
and
hold
easy
on.
when
You got to land this. You got to land
responsibility.
this plane, Funky Town. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with it.
What I'm saying is, you got to have. If you don't learn early on what accountability looks like, what the go, like, in other words, if we going out here, we playing a game. If my job is to catch the ball, I don't get to say my job is to block. Okay. No, my job is to catch the ball. Right? In this team. Now, you calling me selfish because I ran faster than somebody else? No, I have the ability to run faster than somebody else. Yeah. That's why I catch the ball. That's my job. You get where I'm coming from?
Fair enough.
So, but I work for that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
To get to those levels, you have to work at getting there. This stuff, look, LeBron, if he wants to stay, you know, like I said, look, he keeps doing this stuff, and we're still talking about him after 23 years. That's 23 opportunities, you know, and yeah, you're doing all this stuff, you know, in the playoffs now because you relaxed this whole season, and people forget what he did at the beginning of the season. Right. A little mini vacation he took, and all that other, you know, and okay, if you want to play that game, that's fine, but let's not pretend. Let's really stop it. Okay. That ain't go. You having a single mom ain't got. Listen, you were able to do that because when Fort was 40-year-old Jordan, his last season, how many games did he play?
82, I think, or maybe 80.
82. And how many they got in the regular season?
82. Okay,
so win, lose, or draw, he was where? 82 times.
Yeah, he was on that floor.
With his teammates, right? He didn't have them do anything he wasn't willing to show that he was willing to do for them.
Facts.
He was
age
getting
39
his
for
knee
sure.
drained.
Yeah.
At age 40, he was getting his knees drained.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't sit up here. I mean, like, they want to try to keep, you know, making these analogies that they're not hitting where they think.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because again, you ain't got accountability. Okay. None of this stuff is gonna make any sense.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. Let me get some more people in the phone line blowing up, man. Let me get some more people.
You got it.
Hey, thanks, Funky Town.
Have a good one.
All right.
You got it.
Know your boy. Call back, Bray. And Nino. Nino, what's up?
What's up, man?
All right, what's your thoughts?
Hey, for the most part, I disagree with some stuff, but I agree with some stuff. I agree with a lot of stuff you said, right?
Yeah.
The main part of people just talk about who they like and who they don't like. But you broke it down in basketball that people understand. So Rich Paul got a point where he said, I don't like the word selfish, but you come back with the word it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's what I was trying to say before.
No.
Being selfish, if you a Kobe and Jordan, you got to see you practice that. I don't see that as a bad thing for them. Now, if Jason Kidd was selfish, I'd be like, hey, now this is your skill set that we need you to do. It's pass the ball. That's your strong suit.
Right.
Kobe and MJ, they practice that. They practice them shots.
Yeah.
And who would you rather have taken them? And
correct.
On top of that, I like that you broke it down too, that Kobe and MJ could pass the ball. And they did pass the ball for game-winning shots also.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times they had that dog. Now, what I disagree with, on most part, I do feel like, which this is not, so I don't really disagree with it. I'm just saying it might be some logic to MJ having siblings and playing in the hood or whatever. And
but Rich Paul saying that made him selfish though. Like, I'm trying to figure out what a connection is.
I think that's the wrong word. Well, okay.
Yeah, like that. Like, what did that mean that made him selfish? Now, if it mean it made him competitive, yeah, like he's already admitted that playing his older brother and losing to his older brother made him hyper and super competitive where he didn't want to lose. It don't make you selfish, but let me ask you this question. Did you know that passing the ball don't necessarily mean you're not selfish? Because now that we keep the assist stat, some people pass the ball for the stat. They want the assist. Do you know it's players like Luka, Caitlin Clark, people like that who don't give the ball up until they can get an assist. Like I just watched Caitlin play tonight. When she get the ball, she dribbles it and uses screens and first and foremost, every time she gets the ball, she runs full speed. So like Steve Nash, like she can't in it, like Giannis, Steve Nash, LeBron went early in his career. Anybody that has to run full speed for all of their shots tells me that they're lacking some skill somewhere. That like they lacking a lot of skill, because you shouldn't have to run full speed to get a shot, dog. Like Michael Jordan will just get in the post, and post play is a whole nother skill, because when you fighting somebody for position and they're trying to front the post, they're trying to 3/4 the post or top lock the post and do all that other stuff. When they doing all that, you have to be able to get low. You got to be able to use your feet, your legs. You got all types of tricks to the trade that you got to do just to get the entry pass. Is all the way down to the detail on what hand I put up. What I want you to throw the ball. What hand do I want to put up? You get what I'm saying? Once you throw the ball, what am I going to do? I mean, it's just so much stuff. And then when I get the ball, it's a whole nother bag of skills, right? So getting in the post and just saying, I'm not going to use that much energy. I'm going to get down here, use what I know how to do, get the ball in the post, 1-2 dribble, and I'm scoring, right? That's a skill that a lot of people don't have. So when you watch a player that always has to have the ball, use a screen, and then run full speed to get a shot off, what do they lack? They're lacking something. Why you can't get off the ball, get the ball in the, like, where's your other parts of your game? Can you run off a screen like Ray Allen and catch and shoot? Can you run off a screen like Reggie Miller or Rip Hamilton and catch and shoot from the mid or the three? Can you get in the post like Kobe and Jordan? Can you set screens for your teammates off the ball? What are you doing when you don't have the ball? Right? So you got to watch stuff like that when you watch basketball. And like I was saying, it's players like Caitlin Clark and Luka Doncic that dribble the ball, use screens, and do all of that until they can find an open player for a three or a jump shot and get an assist. That's selfish basketball. Just because they're passing the ball for assist don't make it unselfish. It's selfish because you're the only one who feel like you can get that assist. You don't allow your teammates to do none of this. It's just you running around. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But go ahead.
But I will say is I don't want to. Now what we getting at, like I think who was the last caller? Now where we getting at when you make bold statements? See, you broke it down, but when you getting at when we make bold statements, and I'm just gonna put it out there. When you break that down and you don't break it down like you broke it down, and you just say that about assists, and you put Magic Johnson in your top 3, and we talking still now. See, we gotta still have respect for Flo General and assists. But when you put it down in your way, that makes sense. But when you just say assists is nothing, and you got Magic in top 5, now you like, hold on. See,
I don't got Magic in my top. I don't have a top 5. Remember, I got a top 3, and I don't know what to do with everything after 4. All I got is Mike, Kareem, Kobe, and after that, it's the wild, wild west. I don't know what to do at number 4.
Now, see, all of this is subjective. So what I'm saying is that's respectable, and I was trying to get somebody to see that. That just tell me you basketball a certain way and a little different, because everything is important. You prioritize scoring the most. Probably, am I right? Scoring and defense.
Scoring and defending are the top thing. But you know what? You know who else prioritize scoring or value scoring the most? James Naismith, the inventor of basketball. because who wins the game? Why are we playing? We playing to win. Who wins the game? 100% of the time, not 50%, not 60%, not 80%. 100% of the time, the team with the most points wins. So, what's the most important thing in basketball?
Scoring is.
All right, scoring. Hold on.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, scoring is the number one thing that we should value in basketball. What's the number 2 thing we should value? Because if scoring is the number 1 thing, stopping people from scoring should be number 2. So scoring and defending are the number 1 and number 2 things in basketball, and it's very high and everything else is a gap before you get to everything else. It's a gap when you get to everything else. Yes, it's a freaking gap, right? Because
I would agree with that. I would agree with
exactly because assist is something that we. Oh man, get it to my point guard. You know what I mean? I just throw that role to him. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like when you go fish. No. I'm explaining it. I'm gonna explain it. It's like when you go. It's like when you go fishing with your boys and you bring your son. He about 8 years old, right? I'm teaching him how to fish, but like we handling the you know, if a big fish get on that daggone line, I got that. I might give my son a little job, man. Make sure you put a worm on all these hooks right here. Put some bait on all them hooks, man. Do something like that. You know, I throw him a little job like that. You get what I'm saying? But you know, It don't mean that I can't do I can do the worms and the hooks, but he can't do what I do, right? So when you think about scoring, that's always going to be the best player on your team for the most part, that's doing all the scoring. But we can give the assist role to anybody. We can get an assist role to Muggsy Bogues, and he can thrive in it. Hey man, Muggsy Bogues run the offense. Who was the assist guy for San Antonio when Tim Duncan and David Robinson got their first ring together? Do you remember?
No, it wasn't Tony Booker.
Avery Johnson. You don't even remember his name. It was Avery Johnson. He was the assist guy. Hey man, give Avery Johnson run the offense, man. Make sure we get the ball, big dog. You can get some assists. We give assists to them people, right? Oh man, take the assist, man. We ain't worrying about that. You can have the assist. Give me the points. You get what I'm saying? Let me handle the points. What have you ever known the best player not be the leading scorer? But you don't have to be the best player to be the leading assist guy. It's just recent where the best player is saying, hey, you know what? For my stats and my legacy, I'm gonna take that job from the point guard. Let me do that because it's such a small job. I do that. Let me have that one. Magic Johnson is an anomaly. It's so many reasons why he's an exception to the rule. But when you even go to Utah with John Stockton, Karl Malone was the best player on the team. He was the guy that it was looking for points. John Stockton, you can run the offense, John Stockton. Go get the assist, John Stockton. You can have them assists, man. Don't nobody care about no assists like that. It's about scoring and defending, dog. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this if you got time real quick. Okay, so are you saying that when San Antonio won the last ring when they beat Briana, that Tony Parker was the best player on the team then and not Tim Duncan? Oh, what? Okay, I even go one further in 91. Because that's why I go back and watch the old games. Mm-hmm. But you just said Magic was an anomaly. Mm-hmm. To me, and when I watched that, I don't know what that guy's name. He was a better scorer to Magic than me.
James Worthy?
James Worthy.
Yeah, you can say that. That was loaded too.
So would you say he was better than Magic?
That's a good question.
At that time in 91? Because I agree with you now at this point, but you ain't taking, now I'm being a smart ass now, because you ain't taking the nuances. You broke it down at first, but some people, just because of Brian, that's why I'm glad you broke it down. Mm-hmm. But the last caller, which I like him too, even though I know he don't like Brian, but he talked basketball for the most part.
Yeah.
But for the most part, some people, when they just try to make a case against Brian, they say stuff. I'm like, hold on, basketball don't work that way. Now, when you say stuff like you saying, like, hey, you can hold it, because Westbrook started the first time I seen it where he'll hold the ball, and he really never liked the pass before, but he learned that people like assists, so he hold it and run in there, and Luka do it, and Brian will do it sometimes, even Brian do it sometimes. But when you just say assist is nothing without no context, then I'm like, hold on now, we can't get all the way away from team sport. The thing about MJ and Brian, this is people got to accept. If you on Brian's side or MJ's side. I think Brian is better than MJ, a better basketball player. But now, my common sense in basketball knowledge, if I got the right team and I need a better scorer, a person that putting the ball in the hole and can play, of course, play defense, I'm taking MJ. Now, so where does that leave me? I'm not just an all-in retarded guy. Do I think that Brian could score better than MJ And Kobe, Bron could score, great score. But the number one thing for me with scoring, and what y'all talk about late game is different, is shooting. I don't know damn what stats we put up. I know the numbers. Jordan wasn't no great 3-point shooter. But the way he shot the mid-range and the move from the post, he did an exception to it. Kobe the same. Kobe took a lot of them. Kobe take them tough shots. But me just eyeing the basketball, them guys could shoot better than Bron. So that I'm going to give them the scoring edge.
Of course they can.
I don't know what the numbers say. The numbers might say he's close.
I mean,
but shooting.
Listen. All you need to know about shooting, you can see from the technique, their shooting form. You can see how they shoot their free throws. You can see how I can't
argue you, Mel.
It is. I mean, you know, man.
And I'm a Bron guy.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But look,
I know shooters.
I'm gonna get some more calls in here, man, because the phone lines are going off, man. Appreciate the call though.
All right, I got here. Yeah, all right. Appreciate it, man.
All right, yep. All right, know your boy. Call real quick. Caller from Texas, what's up?
What's up, man?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
Hey, man, I got a lot to say about this.
All right, let's
do
it. I
don't know why people knocking fathers in the house, because your boy had a good point when he the first caller from Texas. But I want to talk about this because people saying clutch. If he was the most clutch player, they always talking about he got the most shots. Why they don't trickle in the wins in the finals when they count? Why he always making the right basketball play? If you was that clutch, you're not passing it to no George Hill. You're not passing it to no Danny Green. Like when you break down his whole career, salute top and bottom, my bad. Salute top and bottom. When you break down his whole career, they don't have nothing to do with no clutch.
Right.
Now, Rich Paul gonna go on here, you know that's his minion, so he don't try to help our farm. Just like he tried to use the Jordan Shore analysis with the D-boys. And he looked up, no, he didn't. We looked up to him that everybody wanted to be like Mike. You heard the commercial. They ain't say nothing about no D-boy wearing no jaws and what they was doing in the hood. See what I'm saying? So that's the narrative and the lies they try to come with to debunk why he can't finish these games, why he not clutch. You know what I mean? So if you look at it from the whole big old picture, like you said, he played with so many teammates. You ain't make none of them better because if there was, you wouldn't have traded them. And why every time you traded somebody, Kyrie left you? Kyrie hit the shot. Did he get any praise? Why you ain't go get the ball and hit the shot? Well, Allen hit the shot. When you got beat by a record margin, you left again. You always running from that smoke, but they always want to put you up there with the top echelons. Like the Kobe's, the Jars, the people that really wanted that smoke. And I see people in the comments saying, well, he passed it to Paxson. I write there's one time. You know how many times he passed the ball? Yeah. That's why he 4-6, man. I'm not going to hold you. It's like I said, a caveman can do it. This is easy work, man. Salute to your channel, man. Keep cooking these bones, man, because these boys don't want our smoke. And I'm glad you're around now because you drop so much great content and you breaks it down in every aspect that you can to the best of your ability. And it be facts. And these people still don't want to accept the truth.
No.
So, but y'all need to go and ask Rich Paul why he always making the right basketball play. This is my last point too. He must say, Jordan gonna take that shot, but I'm gonna make the right basketball play. So who you think I'm gonna believe? His jockstrap sniffing fans or him? And I'm out this thing, man.
All right,
you say, bro, I'm still listening.
All right, no doubt. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we might try to get one or two more quick ones, man. One or two. What's up, brother?
How's it going, man? Down there.
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
First of all, I want to address Rich Paul real quick before we even go towards LeBron.
All right.
Rich Paul is just doing damage control, man. Rich Paul is a liar, a snake. He's like a sleazy attorney. You know, he's just LeBron's mouthpiece. And what he's doing is, I can tell you exactly what he's doing. Game, Pete, game. What Rich Paul is doing, he's heard all of the chatter about LeBron being raised by a single mother. Rich Paul was probably raised by a single mother. So he has effeminate ways, lacks accountability, dodges blame. So he's trying to push back against that narrative, right? Now, the problem with that is
if you push back against that narrative, then you're dead wrong. Because I'm not going to demonize anyone that was raised by a single mother or a single father. It happens, right? But the way God intended it was for the mother and father to be there to raise that child.
Correct.
Because whether you raised by a single mother, I'm sorry. I got some of my best friends in the world were raised by single mothers, but they're missing something that their daddy could have given them. And I will also say the same thing for being raised by a single father. So you're going to miss a few things, a few lessons that maybe you need to learn from your mother that you couldn't get because she was out your home. So he's trying to basically push back against the narrative that LeBron lacks something and that maybe he even lacks something if his father wasn't in the home. So that's what that is, number one. Number two, he's word salads everything. And if you let a lie talk long enough, they tell the truth on themselves, right?
Yeah.
He word saladed everything to try to confuse the point and then said that made him selfish. That's not even logical. If you're raised in a household with brothers and sisters, you can't be selfish. You have to learn to share your parents' attention. Take hand-me-down clothes if your parents weren't rich. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Share time and food and everything. That's sharing. But if you're raised as a single child with no brothers and sisters, now you can be a little selfish. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love the way you broke it down earlier, Mel, when you said that assists don't necessarily mean that you're a selfless player. Now, when you're going for them triple-double or them double-double numbers, now it is selfish because you want to be in the record books or you want to be viewed as an MVP candidate, so you got to get some assists and some points. And especially with Vegas now being involved with basketball, and that's how the MVPs are selected. Right?
I bet you if they stop recording assists, I bet you Jokic would stop running point.
If they stop recording assists, you're gonna see a lot of these cats assist numbers drop.
No, they go run a real offense. Like these offenses where we take a center and let him handle the rock. And like I seen them set a screen for Jokic, like a screening row. I said, this is a damn shame.
That's ridiculous.
They got a 7 foot, 7,000 pound Ziploc bag full of mashed potatoes, bringing the ball up court and getting a screen set for him from a guard. And I'm like, man, this is so backwards, man. This is insane, boy. That's like me watching a dog eat his throw up, man. It's right. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And then as far as this whole narrative about unselfishness and being and LeBron making the right play, that right play thing started in the All-Star game when Kobe had shut LeBron down in that game, throwing his junk out, wouldn't let him get his shot off. And then in the last seconds, LeBron passed the ball. And then he went on national television in an interview and said, well, I make the right play. Ever since then,
cop out.
Ever since then, that narrative has been replayed. That it's a lie, really. That lie has been told over and over and over, and it's become lore because a lot of these young basketball fans, they are not going to go back and do the research. They're not going to go back and watch the game. They're just going to listen to whoever ESPN or Fox says is the best and who's the greatest, and they're going to run with that because they don't even watch the games, half these cats. They'll watch a few highlights, and that's it. They don't sit and really watch the game and observe if this person can really handle the rock or not. Right. If this person is a legitimate threat from a 3-level scorer or not. They don't really pay attention to that. They just look at the stat sheet and say, well, he had 23 points. He's 41 years old, so he's still great. Now, I will give LeBron his flowers. That man is a great basketball player.
Yeah, he is.
I've never said he's a scrub. I will never say LeBron James is a scrub. He's a great basketball player. He's just not the greatest basketball player. And if he's your favorite player, young disciple, anyone else out there listening, that's all good. I'm never going to try to tell nobody who they should or shouldn't like. I'm never going to tell nobody not to be a fan of LeBron. I was a big fan of LeBron when he first entered the league. I had high hopes for him. And I will say this as a Jordan fan or whatever, or just a basketball fan, period. I feel like Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever. And I will honestly say he's the best I've ever seen in my eyes. I can't speak about Wilt and all the guys prior to him because I never saw them play. But as far as all the players I've seen since the 80s, since I've been watching basketball, in the late 70s even, he's the greatest I've ever seen. I'm not going to sit here and say there will never be someone to surpass him.
I am.
Because a lot of LeBron fans think.
I am.
Well, I'm gonna land it for.
All right, go ahead.
I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is I'm objective about it. The objective me says, you know what? There may one day be somebody to surpass Michael Jordan. I'm not gonna rule it out, but I haven't seen it yet.
You think it can be
that's
Wemby?
The problem.
You think it can be Wemby?
Wemby has a good chance, and I will say this. But this is the window. People don't understand. You got a 5-year window. The first 5 years of your career, you got to do enough stuff that if you have a drop off in the middle somewhere, you can end your career on a high note. You see what I'm saying? So if Wemby does well, he could possibly catch or pass Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so
at least in the record books.
Before I let you go, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think we'll see someone become a better player than Mike. Whether they have a better career than Mike or be able to log in more stats, that's a different story. But when I'm grading a player, nobody grades higher than Mike. Like if I grade them like a test, like a school paper, no one grades higher than Mike. I grade Mike high, A+. I grade Kobe A+. You know what I mean? Nobody grades that high, right? I need to see a player grade higher than Mike and then go have a career where he can get 6+ rings, and then I would be like, okay, then he might be the one. But the reason why I don't think I would see it is because the era that Mike played in was tough enough and challenging enough where it could produce a player the caliber of Mike. You don't have to be. That's true. You don't have to be as good as Mike to dominate this league. So
you don't. You really don't.
If the necessity to be that good is not there, the new Mike will never develop.
That's a very good point. I never thought about that. And the way you broke that down, based on that criteria, I agree with you. There will never be anyone to ever catch or surpass Mike if they keep the game the way it is, because the environment is not there to develop them. You're absolutely right in that.
Correct.
I want to say this real quick before I let you go. I know other callers want to jump on here. There's been a lot of mistruths and false narratives and lies told about LeBron's career, both in his favor and against him. And I just want to speak to some of the ones that were told in his favor so these people can quit. I hate talking to these LeBron fans and having to prove them wrong, and I always shut them down because I always tell them there's your feelings and there's facts, right? And facts don't care about your feelings. And so I always tell them, go back, do your research, quit repeating stuff you hear, quit repeating that he's an unselfish player. This man has taken the most shots on his team, on every team he's ever played for. LeBron takes the most shots, but they want to say he's an unselfish player, right? He's not an unselfish player. He's just good at hiding it, okay? So that's a lie. He makes the right play every time. That's a lie. There's just a lot of lies out there. And I will just say this. A lie will ride with anybody, but the truth walks alone. And I'm out.
There you go. All right, brother. Appreciate it. All right, next call to come in. It'll be the last call. The Fall Guy sent in the super chat. Appreciate you. You dudes in the chat really need to stop basing how great a player is on opinion awards. MVP and his opinion award. All right, last caller. What's popping, man? Caller from New York. What's good?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's your thoughts?
I'm trying to get through. Yeah, this is Coach Stevens.
Okay.
Big brother. Yeah. Number one, people base everything. You see it on the screen. People base everything on MVP. MVP is an opinion award. No matter who wins it, they always gonna think somehow they didn't deserve it. Even when Steph was unanimous, they felt he shouldn't have been unanimous. Right? Same with assists. Assists is an overrated stat. It's like what they say about championship now. It's a team accomplishment. You can't get that unless your teammate hits it. Now, if Kobe passes to Kwame Brown, who misses, that's just a pass. Am I correct?
Correct. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like I'm going back to MVPs. You can't hide MVP in a basketball court. That's why Kobe used to smack the Spurs. He 4-2 versus Duncan in the MVP in playoff series.
Yeah.
Same with Olajuwon when he When David Robinson got the MVP over him, Olajuwon said, okay, I'm going to show these dudes. They got it wrong. LeBron is a vacuum of basketball talent. Where anybody that goes to his team, their skills diminish. He turns them into jump shooters. You play with Kobe and Jordan, you average the same. Your skill set doesn't change. And as far as, how can I put it? Rich Paul, I wouldn't know the name of Vince Carter's sports agent.
Yeah.
Rich Paul, like you said, he does damage control. And the thing is, it's like whenever LeBron loses, his fans lash out at everybody who, like I saw a post on Facebook, it said, Magic. I said, these dudes ain't playing like 30 years. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? And then, I meant to tell you, I don't know, I've been trying to find it for years. During the Olympics, LeBron's 08 Olympics, he's been plotting since 07. He said, wouldn't it be funny if we all played together? I've been trying to find that clip for the longest.
Yeah,
but I can't find it.
Yeah, I gotta kind of you know what? I might know where to go get it at. But hey, man,
it was from NBC.
Okay. You sniffling, man, like you wasn't crying before you called, or you on that?
Nah, I got I just got done with leukemia, so I got like a lot of stuff going on. So I'm just being at home.
Oh, okay.
So I have a lot of side effects on the medicine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, got you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and meant to tell you, for people who don't know about the All-Star game, you remember when Kobe was D'ing up LeBron in the All-Star game, right?
Yep.
The reason why Kobe D'd him up like that is because right before the All-Star game, everybody there was, I can't remember who it was on ESPN or whatever, they said, or ESPN or TNT, they said LeBron was unguardable. So Kobe said, if you raise his lips, he said, I'm guarding you now. Go back and look at that clip. He said, I'm guarding you now, because they kept saying LeBron is unguardable. He's the most unguardable player in the league. And so Kobe took that challenge.
I like it.
And said, I'm guarding you now. That's why he played him so hard.
I like it. I like it.
So, so I'm gonna let you go. I finally got through.
I appreciate it, brother. Hey,
I landed my plane.
Keep it locked.
Go ahead.
Keep it locked in, man. Call in often, brother.
I changed my name a lot. I'm D. Ali the Joker 687. That's me. I'm a member. So
all right,
I'm gonna talk to you
doubt.
later, man.
All right, no doubt. Thanks, man.
I'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Hey, the Mitchell Show, man. Stop, man. You trying to say that is that bag? It's not the bag, brother. He said side effects from the medication, man. You trying to say it's that bag? It ain't that bag. All right, man, that was a cool segment. Let's move to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr just re-signed for 2 years with the Golden State Warriors. I think it's a mistake, right? I think this Golden State Warriors thing should have been over. I mean, maybe like they should have been trying to get rid of Clay and Draymond's contract after the championship, after their last championship. Like it should have been over, right? But they hard-headed. They don't know that it's over. And it's been over. It's been over since the Draymond Green punch. The Draymond Green punch destroyed everything, right? We go get into all of that, man. But shout out to Steve Kerr for getting a 2-year extension. Shout out to him for that. But I don't think it was the right move for the Golden State Warriors. They can't move forward if they just keep looking backwards. And for some reason, they think that this thing is supposed to continue to keep rolling. Even Michael Jordan, who is the GOAT basketball player, and Phil Jackson, who some people think is the GOAT coach, and Scottie Pippen, who some people think is the GOAT co-star, and then Rodman, who some people think is the GOAT rebounder. You got all of these guys that was on the Bulls who just completed a three-peat and wanted to stay for longer. Even they couldn't stay, and they had a last dance. And the crazy thing about it is that the Golden State Warriors have gotten several last dances. Their last dance was that championship year that they had. Now, they won it. So everybody is due a run it back year. But the replacements for Clay and Draymond was already in the building and already outperforming them. So if they was smart, they would have went on and paid those new pieces, implemented them in the starting lineup, and then made Clay and Draymond fall back to the bench or go to another team. Let them take less money, let them take less minutes, and let them be mentors to the new guys that just outperformed them for a championship. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter Jr., Gary Payton. All of these guys outperformed Clay and Draymond like tremendously, especially Wiggins and Poole, right? So pay them, put Draymond and Clay back on the bench, let their contract run out. They can walk in free agency whenever they are a free agent, or they can take less money to stay, but we're done pouring money into them. They did the opposite. So I just wanted to kind of put a couple of ideas in your head to let you know like what's really going on with Golden State, right? And then just give you a rundown, you know, from the championship year to now, right? Like I alluded to earlier, I said that the Bulls had a last dance. Everybody is due a last dance. Hey, man, look, man, y'all been together as a core for so long. We're going to give y'all one last hoorah at it to see what y'all can do. And then after this one, this is the last dance, brother. This is it, right? The thing with the Warriors is they keep convincing the GM and the owner to give them one last dance. So they had a last dance, won a championship. Hey, you got one more year, or we give you another last dance. Then it was like, oh man, Draymond Green punched Poole out and messed the locker room up, but now we got rid of Poole, so that last dance didn't count because we wasn't really together. Let's do another last dance, and then they do another one and it didn't work. And it was like, oh, it didn't work because Steph don't have a number two. We got rid of Clay, and now we got somebody else. Let's do another last dance. Oh, we got Jimmy Butler mid-season, so that don't count. But now we got a full season with Jimmy Butler. Let's do another last dance. Jimmy Butler got hurt and Steph got hurt. Let's do another last dance, right? So they are on their fifth last dance, right? The documentary, if they've been recording this like Jordan was recording his last year, they're gonna have 5 years of failure. All of these freaking last dances they getting, and they done signed Steve Kerr for 2 more years. How many last dances do you supposed to get? So these boys are on their 5th last dance, and I'm trying to figure out, man, like how many chances they go get? How many chances they go get? I don't understand it. So how do I know it was the last dance? I mean, okay, let's think about it, right? They're old as hell. They're old. Like Charles Barkley said, next year you're going to be a year older. You're not going to be healthier or younger. So the same issues y'all are having now is due to the fact that y'all time is up. Y'all past y'all prime. Y'all old. Steph can still go get you 30, but can he do it 2 nights in a row? Probably not. Steph can still go get you 30, but can he do it for 82 games? Absolutely not. Is he going to survive to the playoffs? Probably not. Is Jimmy Butler going to play half the season next year? No. Is he your second best, highest paid player? Yes. If Draymond is on the court by himself and Steph is out and Jimmy Butler is out, can Draymond step up and be like, hey, I was the 3rd man in line. I was the number 3 player. My number 1 and number 2 is out. Let me go and get you 30. Can Draymond do that? Absolutely not. So why is he the 3rd highest player? Like, you got to think about how stupid these people is, man. Like, the Golden State Warriors are just insane, right? So let me run down to you what happened to this organization. What happened to this organization? Because they dead but won't lay down. They win the championship. Well, let's back up. Let's go all the way back to their first ring. So they get a ring. And it was a phenomenal run. Then they come back the second year Now, mind you, when they got that ring, they faced the Cleveland Cavs team that was giving them the business in the first game until Kyrie Irving broke his kneecap, and Kevin Love was already out, so they came into the series without Kevin Love, and they lost Kyrie Irving in the first game. I think in overtime. You know, he his kneecap split in half. So you lose Kyrie and K Love, and then LeBron, you just didn't have enough to compete with those guys. So they win that ring. That's their first one. They come back and face the same team the next year, but K Love and Kyrie Irving is healthy, and these boys went up on them 3-1. Cavs down 3-1. Iman Shumpert on a podcast said that when they was down 3-1, they came out and won game 5 to go to 2-3. He said LeBron came in the locker room and said, I got it. I figured it out. And they came out with Ty Lue and everybody else. They got a game plan on how they go beat them. They know what to do now. Because once we shut Steph down, their offense is gone. So what they came out and did is became very physical with Steph off the ball. Every time he tried to use these screens, they bumping him everywhere. They gave him some 90s style basketball, and the referees allowed it. And these boys walked them down from 3-1, came back and won the series. Draymond Green on the podcast a couple of years ago admitted, I don't think we win another championship if Kevin Durant don't join us, because I think the league and definitely the Cavs figured out Steph Curry. And after you figure out Steph Curry, we didn't have nothing. And he said he don't think Steph Curry realized that he could go Superman yet. He didn't know how to unlock that. Kind of like when Teen Wolf didn't know how to unlock his Teen Wolfness. You know what I mean? So that's what Draymond said. And that's what if Draymond said it, that's probably what they believed in their locker room. Like, we probably ain't gonna get more, which is the reason why they were so desperate to get Kevin Durant. So what really happened is Kevin Durant saved them from their final destination. Y'all remember that movie Final Destination, right? The movie called Final Destination, where a couple of high school kids or college kids get on an airplane. There's like 8 of them. And one of the guys get a vision about the plane crashing and everybody dying. And the vision was so real to him that before the plane took off, he had a fit and said, let me off the plane, and got off the plane. And all his friends got off the plane with him. And they was fussing at him like, why did you make us get off the plane? And then while they was talking, the plane exploded just after takeoff. Everybody died, but the premise of the whole movie was that you're not supposed to cheat death. So all the people that were supposed to die on that plane, death came back and was like, I got to finish the job. So all these people was having these crazy deaths. The moral of the story is the Golden State Warriors' final destination was supposed to be that one ring they got, because there's a lot of stars that's on Steph Curry level. They get there and taste that wine one time, but never get back, right? Never get another ring. And there's a lot of one ring superstars that are great players and MVPs in the league. You got Kevin Garnett, great player, MVP, got 1 ring, got to the finals twice. You got Dirk, 1 ring, 1 MVP, got to the finals twice. You got Giannis, 1 ring, multiple MVPs. All right. You got some other superstars who got to the finals once but never won, but like Barkley, Karl Malone, Iverson, so there's a lot of superstars, and all of those guys won MVP. So these are high level MVP superstars. All those superstars can get there. They can get 1 ring. They can get there once. They can get there twice, but that's it. That's their final destination, and their career, not their careers, but that team that they led die off a slow death or a quick death. That's their final destination. 1 ring and you're done, right? These multiple rings is supposed to be preserved for the guys that's on a higher echelon, like the Jordans and the Birds and the Magic and the Kareems and the Kobe's, and that's a different level of superstardom. Steph Curry is not on that level, but he tricked everybody because he got some fake rings after Kevin Durant helped him cheat death. Right? So the Warriors' final destination was that one ring they got, and it was supposed to have been over from there. Kevin Durant was the guy who helped them cheat death, just like the guy that was on the airplane in the movie helped him and his friends cheat death. Kevin Durant helped them cheat death by joining them. He wasn't supposed to join them. So what ended up happening is he led them to 2 straight rings. The Warriors ain't never win 2 rings in a row. Kevin Durant was the only reason why they won 2 in a row. So what happened was Death was like, oh, hell no. Y'all supposed to have been done 2-3 years ago. What are y'all still doing here getting rings? Okay, I got something for y'all ass. Right? So Kevin Durant leaves. Clay's hurt. Then Steph get hurt, and then Clay come back, and Steph come back. And somehow they built up a squad and started the whole process over again. Right? They started the whole process over again, got to the finals and got another ring. So it was almost like what was supposed to happen the first time. Once they cheated death, they was like, all right, we're going to redo this, and we're going to show you the death that you were supposed to have before. So what we're seeing from the Warriors now, 1 ring, and then after that, you ain't getting nothing else. That what was supposed to happen before Kevin Durant joined. They were supposed to get that 1 ring, and then everything was supposed to go downhill from there. You know what I mean? Because what would have happened probably after they lost that 3-1 lead, if Kevin Durant didn't join them and he went and joined some other team in the West like San Antonio or the Rockets with James Harden, or he stayed in OKC, I don't think the Warriors would have been an apex predator anymore. I don't think that they would have kept those players, like the same players that they got rid of for Kevin Durant, they was going to get rid of anyway. They was going to get rid of Harrison Barnes. They was going to get rid of Bogut and Vesta Azili and all that stuff. And I don't think after they got rid of those guys, they would have been the same squad. I don't think they would have been. And then all the money that Clay and Draymond got, they're not getting all that money because they're not getting to the finals no more. So they would have been going eventually at some point, right? So, what I just want you to think about this. What was supposed to happen after their first ring didn't happen because Kevin Durant joined them and helped them cheat their final destination. So they had to redo it. They got their 1 ring, and then they died. They're going to their final destination right now, and they don't even know they dead. They don't know they dead, and they trying to trick the owner into continue to give them more money, give Draymond, Steph, and Steve more money, because I think we could revive this thing. But they're walking around with an organization that's dead but won't lay down. You're not getting no more rings. It's over. Your superstar is almost 40. He can't do it no more. He can't stay healthy no more. So the Warriors is dead. Y'all remember that movie Weekend at Bernie's? Where the 2 dudes was carrying Bernie around. Bernie was gone. And they carrying around trying to make it look like Bernie was still alive because they wanted the party to keep going. So they got to trick everybody to think Bernie's still alive. That's what the Warriors are doing. It's Weekend at Bernie's. The organization is gone. Your rings and championships and your competitive is gone. You ain't even make the playoffs this year. You've been in the play-in ever since they invented the play-in. Like the play-in is the Warriors Invitational. The Warriors or the Lakers or both of them going to be in the play-in almost every year. It's going to be one of them. I mean, who been in the play-in more than the Warriors and the Lakers? I mean, it's just every single time. So I'm like, man, dude, this is Weekend at Bernie's, man. They don't know the organization is dead, and Joe Lacob just keeps spitting out money, and they telling the fans, hey, man, we can be competitive this year. We can be competitive, and everyone knows that you can't, except the Golden State Warriors fans. They keep believing this lie. They keep believing this lie that we can keep this thing going and you cannot keep it going because it's dead. It's been dead. It's been dead since the punch. It's been dead since the punch. So back to the daggone punch. What happened? Right? They won the championship. Jordan Poole balled his tail off. He balled his tail off so much. I think Steph was hurt for the first round of the playoffs. They put Jordan Poole in the starting lineup, and he showed his giant hind parts. Andrew Wiggins showed his tail off on both ends of the floor. Andrew Wiggins, he was very instrumental in when they beat Dallas because he was locking Luka down. He dunked on him, embarrassed him. It was bad. Had some big games. Poole was everywhere. But Poole really led them in the first round. Steph comes back healthy in the second round. Poole was on such of a roll that Steve Kerr was like, I'm going to bring Steph off the bench the first game because I don't want to disrupt how Poole has been playing. So he brought his superstar off the bench behind Poole. That's how well Poole was playing. So he continued that on throughout the playoffs and to the finals. So did Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter Jr. ball. Draymond Green's finals was so bad. As a matter of fact, I want to say they beat Denver that year in the playoffs. That's the only series where Draymond Green was really playable. He was unplayable against Boston. Like, he was getting benched left and right. He was unplayable against Boston. No factor at all. Except for when he was trying to clip Jaylen Brown and get in his head. No, that was the first. Hold on. Yeah. They beat Boston. Yeah, it was. He was unplayable against Boston. Otto Porter Jr., Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, and Wiggins were the main guys against Boston. Right, Draymond Green was a non-factor. Clay was you know what I mean? People was ready for Clay to be over with. That's why they didn't give him no money and let him go because, he just wasn't giving them nothing no more. Right? It sucked that he had to be the odd man out. But what ended up happening is Bob Myers did such a good job and looking far into the future and saying, okay, what we did before we got our first ring is we had veterans like Iguodala, Barbosa, and let's say David West was later, but yeah, Iguodala, Barbosa, Sean Livingston, those guys. Iguodala was an all-star. He led a team in Philly as a number one before. He played side by side with Iverson and played well. You know what I mean? Like he's got big contracts before and stuff like that. So when he came to the Warriors, and he was over there starting, but then you get this young buck in Draymond and Steve Kerr was like, yeah, I think I want to, you know what I mean? Like coming to Iguodala and saying, look, man, you've made all this money in the league. You're on a nice contract right now. Let me bring you off the bench. Let me put this young buck in. Are you going to support him? And Iguodala was like, yeah, got it. I go to the bench. I'm making more money than him. I've made a lot of money so far in the league. If you want to put me on the bench, I think I can still start and play well. But cool. I'll be a former all-star who's a starter who's making a nice bag on your bench, and you can call my number when you need me, and when you don't need me, I'll be your biggest support on the bench, which he was. You got to give Iguodala credit for that. You got to give Barbosa credit for that. He had all his runs with Phoenix and D'Antoni and Steve Nash. Now he want to get a taste of a championship. Yeah, I'll come off the bench. I'm not going to fight nobody for minutes. Sean Livingston, yeah, I was a top lottery pick coming out of high school. That's how good I was. I broke my leg real bad. I was out the league, got back in the league. I'm happy to be here. I'm not going to fight nobody for minutes. I know I ain't missed the mid-range in 5 years. I know I could start somewhere. But you know what? I'll come off the bench as a vet. I'll be a big OG to these guys. So you got the OGs like that on the bench willing to sacrifice their minutes, sacrifice everything that can be sacrificed, and support the young bucks of Clay, Draymond, Steph. We'll support them. So the OGs was on the bench in a support role. And what Bob Myers saw is that was easy for me to get the OGs on the bench. And so we can win rings. That's a good dynamic. OGs on the bench, they still good enough to start. But since they old, if we start them, like we might run them down and they might get injured easy. So them being on the bench was great. Reduce their minutes and all that stuff. When the playoffs come, when we need them and call their number, they veteran enough to come out there and deliver. That's the formula. He thought he was going to be able to do that again. So he started bringing in replacements for Clay and Draymond. They got the number 1 pick. He drafted James Wiseman. Hey, man, I got a big guy. He's mobile. He play above the rim. He can rebound. He can run. He's a good player. But if you play a 7-foot James Wiseman, you're going to miss the opportunity to play Draymond Green at 6'6" at center. And you know, Steve Kerr loved that small ball. So it was a problem for Myers to bring in Wiseman because I don't think Steve Kerr wanted a player like that. He wants to play small ball with Draymond most of the time. So the first chance he got to make it seem like Wiseman don't fit, that's what he did. Like Wiseman was the greatest thing since sliced bread when Steph Curry was hurt, and Wiseman balled out his rookie season. But as soon as Steph and Draymond and Clay came back, all of a sudden Wiseman was a problem. Sound familiar, don't it? Sound like Jonathan Kuminga, right? James Wiseman was a problem all of a sudden when Steph and them came back. They loved him his rookie season, but when Steph came out, all of a sudden James Wiseman was a problem. They started playing with it, messing with his minutes. Then he got hurt, and then when he came back from injury, they was like, "Hey man, why don't you play in G League to get back in shape?" You know what I mean? Steve Kerr just started playing with his minutes, and next thing you know, James Wiseman couldn't get in the game, and next thing you know, he was traded. So that's one guy that Bob Myers brought in that was supposed to be part of the future. Steve Kerr phased him out. They had to trade him. So James Wiseman gone. Then now you got Moses Moody, Kuminga, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton, right? You got those guys, and Andrew Wiggins, right? Well, you already see what happened with that, with the Kuminga situation. But getting to the Jordan Poole punch. So now you got James Wiseman up out of there. Now Draymond Green don't have a threat for his position at center, because if James Wiseman would have got everything rolling, ain't no way you don't play a talent like that, man. That dude was super talented, dog. Got him up out of there. Okay, we can play small ball with Draymond. Then Jordan Poole played so phenomenal that season, and in the playoffs and in the finals, he knew he was about to get paid. And everybody on the Warriors team knew he was about to get paid. But that was also the same year that Draymond Green was in his contract year. So he was trying to negotiate for his contract as well. Why was Draymond so frustrated with Jordan Poole at training camp months after they just won a championship? Why was he so on high strung that he would knock out his teammate? It's because in the back of his head, he knew that I don't think I'm getting another big contract with the Warriors because they're going to pay Poole and they're not going to have no money left for me. Sound familiar? He was on high edge as well in his contract year when Kevin Durant was in his contract year and in his final year with the Warriors. And that's when he was so frustrated that he just came out and called him a bitch and said, "We don't need you. We won before you," and got mad and ran Kevin Durant up out of there. And when Kevin Durant got ran up out of there and left, guess who ended up with the contract? Draymond Green. That's when he got another big contract. Well, it's time for him to get another big contract. And now you got another guy in your way in Jordan Poole who about to get your money on your team, playing beside your girlfriend, being considered the third splash brother. It's a lot of jealousy though. Now they get to yapping at training camp. And he said, "Man, you're a backpack for 30. Said, "I'm about to get paid." That set Draymond Green off. Draymond Green knocked him out like he stole something. Then they had issues the entire season. The dynasty was over with that punch. You can never fix that locker room ever again, because when it's already semi-split, because you got the guys that was there from the beginning, and you got the new guys. So the new guys would be Peyton, DiVincenzo, Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Moody. Loney was kind of stuck in the middle. And then on this side, you got Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. You got the core four Looney in the middle, man, because you know he was there with them, but he also is more on the age group of the new guys. Then you got Kuminga, Wiggins, DiVincenzo. Well, I put Wiggins in the middle as well with Looney, but you got DiVincenzo, Poole, Kuminga, Moody, all those guys, right? It was already kind of split. But when this side see this a member from this side knock out somebody from this side, and then they don't even punish them, how will you ever go get that team together again? Because DiVincenzo and Jordan Poole were best friends. I'm already mad you knocked my friend out, but I can't go in and jump on you and fight you because I probably would get suspended. So I'm expecting the front office and the team to do their job and say, a member of the team just assaulted another member of the team. There's got to be some consequences, right? Like, there's got to be something. Nope. Hey, man, we got 1 week of training camp left. Go home. Be ready for game 1. That was his punishment. No fine, no missed games, no community service, none of that. Hey, go home and be with your family. We'll stay here and run these guys into the ground to make sure they're ready for game 1. Just meet us at the ring. We got ring night game 1. You can't miss ring night. Hey, make sure you there for game 1. You can't miss ring night. These rings dope. And if I'm looking at it like, oh, I'm sitting here with a swollen eye, that just happened, and you just like you tell him to go home. Guess who didn't go home? Guess who was still practicing at training camp? The dude with the swollen eye. Imagine that. Hey, run. Hey, y'all got to run lines. Like, you know what I'm saying? You mess a play up or you walk in late. Hey, run lines. So imagine you the one with the swollen eye and you run the suicides. Draymond Green was just bragging about, this is the first time I was able to take my kids to school in the morning. It felt good to be able to take my kids to school in the morning. I'm like, what? He was saying on his podcast. Took my kids to school in the morning. I got a swollen eye. He ain't get no punishment. They rewarded him by sending him home and missing the rest of the training camp. Go be with your family. Be ready for game 1. So when you see that, the locker room ain't never gonna be back together. So that whole season that was having issues, and I remember one game that was struggling against somebody, and Draymond Green was going to Jordan Poole trying to tell him, they like Steve Kerr called the timeout. They was walking to the bench. Draymond, Steph, and Jordan Poole was walking close to each other, and Jordan Poole was getting talked to by Draymond, and Jordan Poole didn't even look at him, wasn't even listening to him. And then Draymond looked at Steph and was like, and then Steph walked up to Jordan Poole and said, this is not helping. So obviously they've been having issues all season long. And Steph Curry was trying to be a leader and say, this is not helping. What do you mean it's not helping? He ain't even got punished yet. Like, I can't even get to the part where I'm getting over this situation because he ain't even got punished yet. I don't trust this organization no more. I don't trust it. I don't want to run through a brick wall for y'all. Like, y'all act like that's okay behavior, which is the same reason why Kevin Durant left. Like, after Draymond did that, the organization just act like, okay, man, that's what we do. You know, that's almost telling Kevin Durant, we feel like that too. Yeah, we feel like he was right about what he said. You're a bitch. We won without you. We don't need you. Because if nobody corrected him or punished him for doing that, that's kind of detrimental to the team. I'm the best player on the team, and you pushing me out of the door, that's definitely detrimental to the team. If I was Bob Myers, I would have suspended Draymond on the spot and pulled daggone Kevin Durant in the office with Draymond and said, hey, I would have talked to Kevin Durant like Draymond wasn't even there. I would have looked him right in his eyes and said, hey, I know you're in your contract. Yeah, I know what Draymond just did and what he just said, but I just want to let you know, we'll do anything to re-sign you. You name the number and name the situation. If you want Draymond gone, he'll be gone on the next thing smoking. If you sign your contract extension today, Draymond will be traded tomorrow. And you got my word. I would have did anything in my power to keep Steph, Clay, and KD together. Ain't no way. I would have went and found another defensive enforcer. It didn't have to be Dray. I would have traded Draymond on the first thing smoking. Don't threaten me with a good time. I've been wanting to get rid of your ass for a long time anyway, and I don't want to pay you no money this summer. We get to keep Kevin Durant. Oh hell yeah! He just gave us 2 daggone rings. Like he just delivered 2 rings to us. Steph ain't even gave us 2 rings yet. He gave us 1. KD gave us 2 back to back. Oh, Draymond would have been gone, right? So he knocked out Poole, split the locker room, destroyed the season, destroyed the dynasty, the final destination. That was it. It was over from there. These dudes had the nerve to blame the season on Jordan Poole. Like, hey, man, we don't like the fact that your face hit Draymond's hand that hard. That's basically what they said. Because they traded Jordan Poole at the end in the summer and blamed the season on him. As soon as they traded him, they say, okay, now we got our locker room back. Now we can go back and go win. That's the lie they told Joe Lacob. Hey man, Jordan Poole, he messed the season up. The locker room was split. Draymond Green couldn't lead because he felt so bad about what he did, so he couldn't lead properly. But now we got rid of the problem. Give Draymond Green another max contract. And they did. I'm like, dude, this is insane. This is insane what's going on. So they trick him into giving him some more money. We ran it back. It went horribly again. Then they get rid of Clay. And then it was like, oh man, let's bring back Gary Payton. Maybe we ain't had no defense this year. They do that, start the season back over, horrible again. Then it was like, I think that year they tried to get Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. They ended up getting Jimmy Butler. It was just a disaster, dog. Long story short, this franchise is done. They wasting time. They got the number 11 pick this season in the draft. They'll pick somebody. It still won't go. It still won't fix the situation. They're going to be trash again. Somebody's going to get hurt. They're old. It's over. It's over, man. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. See what y'all saying in the comments, man. Hold on, Chocolate Rider. Who acting up in the comments said, hey, where my moderators at? If they acting up, time them out. Well, y'all tripping. Come back on ring night. Yeah, man. Ain't that what they did? They said go home, be with your family, come back on ring night. Like, no punishment at all, dog. I'm like, dang, man. Like, I don't know if they didn't suspend him because they was like, man, he can't miss ring night. I mean, it wasn't that bad. He just knocked him out, put him to sleep. It ain't that bad, right? He can get his ring. I would have mailed his ring to him. What do you mean come back for ring night? Like, it was like a week or 2 left in training camp. And veterans don't like training camp anyway because they like, dude, I stay in shape. I know how to get my own self in shape. I'm not about to come out here and be running no freaking suicides that, nah, I'm not doing that, dog. And I know all the plays, so what I need training camp for. So they threatened him with a good time, man. Go home, Draymond. This not a suspension, though. They made for sure to say that wasn't a suspension. It was like one of those things where your kid do something and you're a punk parent. You come in there, you know what? I'm not gonna say a punk parent because my mama did that for like a year or 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? My mom used to give out some real good whoopings back in the day, right? But after a while, she got, once we started getting a little size on us or whatever, my mom, she wasn't trying to do the whooping thing no more, right? So I remember I used to get in trouble. My mom, she used to come in and say, what you want, punishment or the belt? Like, you give me an option. I'm like, I'll take the punishment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm picking my own punishment, though. I take the punishment. Well, punishment was not being able to go outside. You want to be on punishment, or you want the belt? I'll be on punishment. because I'm just gonna stay in and play PlayStation or something like that. You know what I mean? It ain't even really no real punishment. And look, and the crazy thing about it was the football field that we played in was right beside my apartment, right? So when all of my friends wanted to play football, I can see them from my window, right? And then my mom can see them when she come home and park in the parking lot, right? So it's been plenty of times where I'll be on punishment and all my friends will be out there playing and I just like sit where my mom can see me like in the living room and just like with my head down. And she just be like, go on out there, boy. You can go play. I was like, all right, thanks. I go out there and play with them. I thought you was on punishment. I was like, shit. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. They pretty much let Draymond Green pick his own punishment. Y'all got to go back and watch those podcasts he was doing right around that time. Like, because he be telling so much of the of what's going on. I remember him saying that I wasn't suspended, I wasn't fined. Like I don't know if he was bragging about it or why he wanted to make that public, but he was basically saying like it wasn't like I was suspended and like that. I just went home and I needed some time. And that time was, you know, I learned a lot from that time. Like this is the first time I was able to drop my kids off at school on the first day of school. You know, he was saying stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, that's not even a pun. He didn't even get no punishment for this at all. Like the punishment ain't just for him to say, hey, you did something wrong, don't do it again. It's also to show everyone else on the team that you can't do it either. And you know, if I punish him, you know I'm gonna punish you if you do something like that. Or it also shows them that I got your back too. I don't play favorites. But they didn't do that. So basically what the Warriors told Jordan Poole and everybody that was newcomers to the Warriors is that we care more about Dre, Clay, Steph than we care about anybody else. And it's them against y'all. That's the message that they sent. That is the message they sent. Insane work. All right, the Warriors, just move on from them, man, because it is what it is. But OKC Thunder, man, they just swept the Lakers not too long ago, and we know that they be facing the San Antonio Spurs in the conference finals. But after the sweep, James Worthy, Robert Ory, and their hosts were all in the post game, you know, doing analysis. And Robert Ory said some things that I really appreciated that I wanted to play for everybody and kind of have a conversation about it.
I know Shea was the leading scorer, but A.J. Mitchell was the backbreaker all series long. I mean, no Jalen Williams. And you talk about a guy at UC Santa Barbara in his second year, was playing 7 minutes a game last year and really broke through this year due to the injuries to OKC. And he ends up with 28 points on 12 of 19. But his ability, James, to control the game, and if you doubled Shea or the ball was in his hands, it was like having the ball in the hands of a star. I'm not calling him a star, but he sure was.
He was a star. He's been the star, one of the stars in this series. But I want to point out something to people at home. 35-28, right?
Yep.
They only made 2 threes. So that goes to show you right there. When everybody want to sit back and make all these threes, it ain't about making threes. What do I say all the time? It's about getting buckets, right? Mm-hmm. These guys know how to get buckets. They love you to sleep. They know how to draw the foul. They know how to get to their points. And that's what players got to understand. You get to your point on the floor where you most comfortable at, you're going to knock down that shot. You know, and that's what Shea does. And you think about this. This guy is going up against Shea every day in practice, and he's like this, taking notes. Oh, that's how Shea get his buckets. Writing it down. Oh, that's how he gets to the free throw. Add it to my repertoire. And that goes to show you when you go out and you learn it from greats like that, and they want you to. I think Shea said he don't even shoot the ball in practice, which is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. He wants his other guys to feel empowered. And for me, that's one of the things that our team really has to learn. Stop trying to hunt fouls, get to your point, your comfort zone, and knock down Jays.
See, so he was talking about A.J. Mitchell and SGA in the closeout game. And they both had big games. You know, I think one had 30-something, one had over 25. It was a good showing for both of them. And what Ori was saying he admired about them is he was like, man, SGA took 1-3, AJ Mitchell took 1-3. I want to say they both missed that 1-3 they took. No, I'm lying. SGA, he did make one, so he might have been 1 for 2. I don't know, but they took less than 3 threes between them. And nowadays, scorers who got the green light are putting up between 7 and 10 threes a game. That's how a lot of players have been playing. He's saying AJ Mitchell and SGA beat the Lakers with mid-range and paint touches. They rarely shot the 3. And he was like, people got to bring that back. And he talked about Kobe, and he talked about Mike, and he talked about how important the mid-range was to them. And it's a true thing. Like people got to actually give credit to SGA for studying the blueprint. Like he said so many times that he thought Mike and Kobe is the top of the pyramid, and that's why he studied them. And he's saying that at practice, AJ Mitchell is probably studying SGA. That might be true. They're not selling him for the 3. I think that's big. You know, and I'm glad Ori said that. And for someone that is part of the Lakers organization who's doing post game announcing for the Lakers, to be sitting beside a Showtime Laker and James Worthy and be able to say good things about the team that just put them in a airplane headed to Cancun. I think that's big of him to acknowledge SGA in that way. And listen, SGA is the best player in the league. Let's not forget about that. I'm gonna explain to you why, but let me get this super chat. It's over for the Warriors. Thanks for the super chat, Curtis. It is over for him. And he said, if the Warriors is weak in their burners, LeBron must be curious case of Benjamin Button, cause let his fans sell it. He been 41 for 8 years. But SGA is it, dog. I made a little top 10 players in the league, and I did this like before the season was over. And I had SGA at number 1. I had Wemby at number 2. I had Jokic at number 3. Right, that's how I had it. I didn't have LeBron in my top 10 before the season ended. I thought these was the 10 best players in the league right here. After observing the playoffs, it changed a little. It changed slightly, right? It changed slightly, and I still got SGA 1. I still got Wemby 2. But Jokic fell all the way to number 5 for me, and LeBron made it inside the top 10. Right. So you see Luka fell out of my top 10. Right. Listen, I value defense. I value winning. I value scoring. Those things are very important when you're judging players. The winning, I guess, circumstances can manipulate that. But when you're judging a player by scoring and defending, yeah, circumstances can't hide you or justify why you can't do a certain thing consistently or at a high level. A certain thing like defend. So for Jokic and Luka, ain't no way. Like my list is full of two-way players. I'm sorry, Luka at number 7. Oh, that I ain't seeing right there because he didn't have his Lakers jersey on. But SGA, two-way player, Wemby, two-way player, Anthony Edwards, two-way player, Cade, two-way player, Giannis, two-way player, and Jaylen Brown, two-way player. And then the old guys, KD and LeBron, they still play better defense as old guys than Luka and Jokic, which is fascinating. Right? But SGA has been the best player in the league for the last 3 years. So anytime I get a chance to highlight what he means to the league and what he do and why it's significant and stuff like that, I highlight it. You know, that's my thing, man. But it's been 2 hours, y'all, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I'll probably catch y'all again tomorrow. There's a couple of other things I want to talk about as well. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Thanks for the super chats. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all got one more chance to hit the like button. Let me get to some of these comments before I go. I like your list, but how is Ant over Cade? Probably recency bias. I made the list right before the San Antonio series started. It's recency bias. But as you can see, I had Cade above Anthony Edwards when I made the list during the season. But yeah, Cade could be number 3 for sure. He definitely could be. Definitely could be. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.